The Newsline.
Hello and welcome back to People's TV. In our previous video, we discussed the upcoming international conference co-chaired by Saudi Arabia and France, aimed at rallying global support to recognize Palestine as a sovereign state. Originally scheduled to take place earlier, the conference was postponed due to the outbreak of hostilities between Israel and Iran. The conference officially commenced in New York City on July 28, with representatives from over 100 countries in attendance. Its primary objective is to reignite discussions on the two-state solution ahead of the September Summit of World Leaders. In his welcome address, Jean-Noël, France's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, urged world leaders to maintain their efforts, not just to stabilize Gaza, but to end the broader conflict that continues to threaten regional peace. Barrot stressed that a two-state solution remains the only viable path to achieving legitimate aspirations for both Israelis and Palestinians. He highlighted the need to stabilize Israeli-Palestinian relations, reform Palestinian institutions, and disarm Hamas. Saudi Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud echoed this sentiment, affirming Israel's right to security while urging all nations to work cooperatively toward achieving the parameters outlined in the roadmap for establishing a sovereign Palestinian state, the central objective of the conference. Mohammed Mustafa, representing the Palestinian National Authority and recognized as the Prime Minister of Palestine, addressed the assembly with a call for the immediate recognition of Palestinian statehood. He emphasized the importance of respecting the rights of all nations. However, notably absent from his speech was any condemnation of Hamas' October 7 attacks on Israeli civilians, attacks that violated Israel's right to exist. Neither in this global forum nor in domestic political discourse has he publicly addressed this issue. The conference is ultimately focused on laying the groundwork for formal recognition of Palestine at the upcoming United Nations General Assembly in September. However, both Israel and the United States were absent from this gathering. The U.S. government explicitly announced its decision to boycott the conference, viewing it as a concession to Hamas, a group that continues to reject all negotiation efforts, including those for the release of hostages and cessation of violence in Gaza. On the same day, Israel's permanent representative to the United Nations, Danny Danon, criticized the conference, stating, "This gathering doesn't promote peace, it fuels delusion." Instead of demanding the release of hostages or dismantling the Hamas terror regime, the organizers are wasting time on fantasies detached from reality. To elaborate, a two-state solution envisions the establishment of a Palestinian state comprising the West Bank and Gaza Strip, with East Jerusalem as its capital. While the West Bank and East Jerusalem are geographically contiguous, Gaza is separated from both by a significant distance. The challenge lies in politically uniting these territories into a single, sovereign state. However, a critical issue likely to arise is Israel's willingness to relinquish East Jerusalem, home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, as the capital of a future Palestinian state. As we mentioned in our previous video, Israel has already passed legislation annexing parts of the West Bank and regards Jerusalem as its eternal capital. It is therefore evident that both sides lay claim to Jerusalem, making any negotiated settlement extremely complex. No matter how many nations endorse a diplomatic solution, implementation may prove impossible, as Israel is unlikely to surrender what it views as its historical and spiritual heritage. Given these realities, we must consider the possibility that the international community may eventually pursue an alternative path. While the two-state solution remains the preferred option, its continued failure might lead global powers to support a more assertive course of action, potentially even a coordinated multinational military intervention. We can expect significant political developments leading up to the UN General Assembly in September, and Israel's response will be critical. It's also important to remember the role of the United States. As Israel's strongest and most influential ally, the U.S. currently offers unwavering support. However, that could change depending on future political leadership. If a future U.S. president is less supportive of Israel, the nation could face growing international isolation. When that time comes, either Israel or Palestine may gain the upper hand, but it is evident that Israel is already preparing for such an eventuality.
Subscribe us for more details.